So today is a very memorable day for me. It is for me. I'm happy to come here. I was doing some writing this morning about what to do during the emergency and after the emergency. Whether this emergency is a natural disaster or a conflict. Actually, if it was just something have not been planned for, and this can happen once, we have to be guided by two rules. One of the rules is an ayah from the Quran. فلولا نفر من كل فرقة طائفة يتفقهوا في الدين. When there's a war, don't send everybody out. Yes, you make declare that there's a war, you need everybody to be ready, but don't send everybody out. Leave a group of people at the back to think, look, write, observe, analyze, and guide. This is the ayah for 345 years. Not everybody should go out. No, at all. So whether it's a war or natural disaster. Okay? And this have been practiced very well by Khalid ibn Walid when he was not a Muslim, fighting in the battlefield of Uhud. What he was doing, has got about 100 knights, standing next to the mountain of Uhud. And the mountain of Uhud is all the people who are throwing the archery at the kuffar. Prophet ﷺ told them, don't ever leave the mountain no matter what. This is what Prophet ﷺ told them. When they found that naively that the mushrikeen are running away and the Muslims are there, they say, okay, we need to take our share of the booties. They split. Some of them stayed behind. Some of them ran to take their share. Who was watching? Khalid. And this is a ta'ifa. He is the group. What you actually were observing and telling his colleagues, the knights, no. The war is not over yet. The one who realized from the Muslim side that to do something was Hamza. He looked back at the mountain, he said, oh my God, I'm going up to the mountain to encourage them to come back. But you know who met Hamza in the middle way? Habashi. What's his name? The one who killed him, his name is Habashi? The one who killed him?
Yes.
Habashi, yeah. Because Habashi was waiting also in the bush. So Khalid was waiting in the bush doing nothing but observing. Habashi is waiting in the bush doing nothing in the whole battlefield but to get his kill. So before Hamza climbed up the mountain, he was thrown by the big archery by Hamza and killed him. And Habashi was saying, even when he was dying, his look at me was frightening. You prevented me from saving the victory, but he was martyred. So from these two individuals, and both of them were kafir at the time. Khalid was kafir, and Habashi was kafir. They changed the victory into a defeat. Why? Because they were thinking, not firefighting. When there's an emergency, divide your team into groups.
Yeah.
So one of the most important group is the one to sit back at the back and observe, and guide, and give knowledge.
Yeah.
Because you'll be very busy attacking, being attacked. And this is what's happening for us nowadays. When there's an emergency, money. So what? What's next? Should not be that all of us. This was actually from the theological point of view, how Khalid and Habashi changed the defeat into a victory. Khalid did it again when he became a Muslim at the battlefield of Mu'tah. He just became a Muslim yesterday, so he could not be appointed to become the leader of the army. The army was 3,000, the army of the Kafir was about 40,000 or something like that. Alhamdulillah. 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 That's good. That's good. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. That's good. That's good. That's good. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Everything is fine. It's always happened. That's okay. That's okay. No. Sit down. Sit down, please. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Bismillah. Bismillah. So, what happened? Prophet ﷺ appointed 3 amirs for the army, 3 army leaders, 3 field marshals. Zayd was the adopted son, then his cousin Ja'far, then his somebody else called Abdullah ibn Rawah, one of the companions. How on earth that you appoint 3? That means that the battle is very, very tough, difficult. The 3 of them were killed or martyred. Who was observing again after becoming a Muslim? The same Khalid. He said, we can't win. Finished. What to do? Save the army. Save the people. Khalas, finished. At night, he reshuffled all the branches of this group to try to convince the Roman that the supply came at night and to scare them from attacking in the morning. By the Fajr, the army was drawn and went back to Medina. And Khalid, because he was observing, watching, thinking, not a firefighter, he saved the 3,000, or whatever left from the 3,000 people. Because they were the only soldiers in the whole of Medina. And when he came back to Medina, the children were throwing them, oh, the runner away, the runner away, the runner away. Oh, Prophet ﷺ said, no, they're going to come back. The coming back people. Few years later on, after the Prophet ﷺ died, the same Khalid again was the leader of the army in the battlefield of Yarmouk. This was the one that he was drawn from. It was the battlefield of Mu'tah, just before the Prophet ﷺ died. In the battlefield of Yarmouk, Khalid, the same again, but this time he won against more than 200,000 people. But this is the beginning of understanding that we should not put all our baskets, so our eggs in our baskets. Okay, and should be specialized in different field of work during emergency. Okay, I observed this when I was in Indonesia in January 2000. Is it 1995 or 2005? Tsunami. 2005. Yes. We were sleeping, all of us, on the ground floor. All of us. Ground floor. Because we can't sleep on the first or second floor of the house. It was myself, Dr. Ahmad from America, and 1 or 2 other people. You know, when the tremor came, tick, 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 we jumped automatically, running out. Because we did not want to feel that the roof on top of us. And we did not talk about saving him, saving her, no. Everybody was going out. Because this is the first shock. Then after you wake up, look back. But actually here, the message is that when we are having this kind of emergency, we have to divide our team into groups. This is the beginning of the discussion. Now I'm honored to listen to your comments and to answer your questions. Bismillah.
Yeah, thank you very much, brother. Yeah, this is the references you used from Quran and Islamic perspective and the historical perspective. To be honest, these are learnings for us. These are the lessons for us that on the
Good.
basis of these. Thank you very much, brother, for all your discussions and these references. To be honest, these are for us as a humanitarian organization, as a relief and development organizations. These are lesson learned for us that how we can set our values, how we can set our objectives to achieve our short-term and long-term goals. Because since as an organization Islamic Relief, we are working on different humanitarian emergency programs, natural disasters are the man-made disaster, different kind of emergencies around the globe, and these are the things, to be honest, for us to learn that what would be our approach based on these examples, or based on these guidances, or based on these values set by our religious and our previous experienced people. So we need to learn and we need to implement this in our programs. So it's a great honor that we are with you. We are listening your advices, and
So what's your
inshallah,
question?
yeah, we will learn. So my question is, Dr. Saab, when you started Islamic Relief as a founder, at that time, have you imagined that we will expand this large in coming years as an organization?
Okay, Jazakallah khair. We never started Islamic Relief for the growth, or for the name, or for the fame. We started Islamic Relief for the response. It started very naturally, without any planning, without any thinking, without any great support from businessman, politician, whatever it is. Young people who felt that they have a role to play, and they started to play something, or to play the role. It became like the snowball. When it comes from the mountain, it keeps growing, growing, growing. Between 1984, which is the unplanned start, okay, Dr. Hassan and myself were just going around with a plastic bag, collecting fund from mosques, door to door, street to street, shop to shop, mosque to mosque, for between 1984 and to 1989. 84, 85, we did not have any office. We just had a small donation box on the wall, and we used to go every Saturday to open this donation box, find checks, £5, £10, £20, £50, £100. 1986, we started to share a room. Then we had a small office in Mosley Road, 3 meter by 3 meter. That's in 2 years' time. We didn't have an office. We didn't have a big name. Between 1986 and 1989, we registered officially in 1989, but we were working before that without registration, because the law allowed you to work while you're still under registration. When we were registered in 1989, we started to look outside UK, because from 84 to 89 we were actually legging the whole country, from Scotland to Wales, England to London, everywhere, okay, to spread the message. All our leaflets, there was no leaflets, it was handmade, typewritten. You know typewriter?
Yes.
There was no computer at that
Yes.
time.
Yes.
We didn't have any computer. Our first computer was a dinosaur, huge. And when people used to come to me in the office, we have a computer. It's a challenge, it's an achievement. Then we got the fax machine later on, 1988 or 89 or something like this. Then we used to use the telex for Kurbani from one of the Pakistani businessmen in Ladipur Road, Ahmed and Sons. I used to give him a very big list, 1,000 or 2,000 names, because at the time you have to give the names, Bismillah, MashaAllah, Allahu Akbar, Takbir, Kurbani, Muhammad Ali Mahmoud. Then first time, at that time we said Kurbani for the Prophet. What? Pakistani, huh? Kurbani for Allah. What? He said you do Kurbani and that's it. We learned from the Pakistani people that they are doing, keep doing Kurbani for the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam or Kurbani for Allah. And this was the 84 to 89. After 89, we started to look at the globe, that we want to go outside UK. So we start to register the organization in different countries, like France, like Belgium, like Holland, like Germany. Okay, this from 1990. Not only that, by 1993 we had the vision, or 1992, the vision to register Islamic Relief inside the United Nations in a committee called economic, to have the economic social status, the ECOSOC. We're still having it. This was 29th of March 1993. So the vision started to materialize when we have been officially a part of the system. We were not happy just to be a part of the British system, but we have to be a part of the global system, which is inside United Nations. That's why we registered it was a fight. Fight means fight. Because one of the ambassadors refused our name because our name is Islamic. Yeah. And she wanted to keep us on a roster status to come after 2 years. And after 3 or 4 days of lobbying and giving reports to every ambassador in the room, when I was told by the Sudanese ambassador on the day, on Friday morning, I said, what? You want me to come after 2 years? No way. You know what I have done? I was alone because Sarah Said and the Khalid Roy were with me, but they left because of the cost of living in the hotel. At the time, the room was $70 a day. Very small room, 2 by 2. I went straight to the stage, got the microphone. The chair lady said, please come down. I said, no, I'm not going to come down. I have been here for the last week. I give you everything you want and more than what you want. What else you want from me? The Arab ambassadors, unfortunately, failed me. They were calling me Islamic Relief. Oh, they are related to, oh. I said, what? What do you want me to do now? They're very, very bad. So when I shouted on Friday on that day, I said, I'm not going to come from the stage unless you tell me what you are going to do with me. The decision has already been made to be put on a roster status and come after 2 years. You know who stood up to support us? Ireland. The Irish ambassador stood up and said, we have been listening to the representative of Islamic Relief. They give us everything we wanted. Even they donated at the time for Bosnia 300 metric ton of wheat flour. I recommend them. We got one to recommend us from Europe. Please let our colleague to read the reports over the weekend. And when we come back on Monday morning, Islamic Relief should be the first one to be discussed in the agenda. I got endorsement from a European country. Then I look at the Sudanese. I told them, Wallahi al-Azim, if you don't vote for us on Monday, I will get you and ask Hosni Mubarak to stop the Nile coming to Sudan. He was about 7 foot tall. He was laughing. On Monday morning, this happened. This happened. On Monday morning, I was there, and the Sudanese ambassador stood up and they gave a very, very powerful speech about Islamic belief and whatever. So we have got two. One from
Africa
Europe
and one from Europe.
and one from Africa. And we got the registration. If you know how to get your right, get it, even by a fight. Don't let your right to be taken by somebody else. This is where the big vision starts to come. At that time, from 89 was a flood in Sudan. We were responding to it. 1990 was an earthquake in Iran, and Islamic Relief was the first to respond to the earthquake in Iran.
In bomb.
No, a bomb is 2002. This is 1990. Okay, 1990. And every organization in the country, because there's difference between Shia and Sunni, they have nothing to do with Shia and Sunni.
We are a humanitarian organization.
We raised 250,000 pounds, and we bought water tanks. At the time, vaccination, malaria tablets, blankets, and tents, ex-army refurbished tents, 14 by 14 feet, and we sent the whole plane in cooperation with the Iranian Red Crescent. BAM was 2002 or 2003.
2003.
Yeah. And this was, so Sudan flood, Khartoum flood, then Iran earthquake, then 91 Bangladesh cyclone. 25 million people were underwater. 92 was Pakistan, there was a flood in Pakistan, and there was the war in Bosnia. Same year.
It was Iraq war, right?
No. The Iraq later on.
Okay.
Iraq was there, but actually Bosnia war started April, May 1992. Your flood started in May, June, July 1992. Because at that time we bought this house, this building, and all the trustees were actually very upset with me. We were in a small room. How can you get us a big building of 29,000 square feet? 9,000 or 8,000 offices, 21,000 warehouses. And by May, June, July, this warehouse was full. I came back to the trustees and said, okay, sorry. This is how it went from a very small initiative into that. But during the late 80s and mid 90s, we never had Ramadan with our family. All out.
Especially stars.
No, the whole month.
Ramadan program.
The whole month. From day one to Eid Day and after Eid Day. Germany, France, Belgium, Holland, UK, USA, others. We never had any iftari with our children or with our wives for 5, 6, or 7 years. This is how we started. All right? This is how we started. Okay, second question.
Thank you, Brother Ani, for giving us honor to meet here. My question is, we are very good in humanitarian sector. People actually in Pakistan, all the donors and other community knows us very well as a to response in emergency phases. We are working on the development side, and we have the management there in Asif Bhai, brother, you know very well, I think. We are working for the development project as well. We started to look the fundings for the climate change. What your stance, how we can be a good in development projects? Basically, we are in worldwide, if I think that we are very good in humanitarian sector, but not in development sector. So this is my question: how we can be a good?
How you can improve your development program?
Yeah.
First of all, the difference between humanitarian and developmental. Humanitarian is based on emotion, tears, cries. That's why you get a lot of money. thrown at you. During tsunami, MSF in France, you know what they did? They said to everybody publicly on the media, we don't want any more fund. Can't spend it. The small organization were very upset because they wanted the money. But money for what? They can't spend it. We all remember a DAC at the time, and usually DAC, Disaster Emergency Committee, in 1 year or less than a year, they received more than 400 million pounds. They couldn't able to spend it. They should have spent it within 1 year. They have to extend it for the second year and the third year because the money was going. This is emergency. This is what you call humanitarian. With political, with development, it's more structured program. It needs a lot of tedious work and building a stronger relationship with other countries, with other departments, with other organizations. If you want to be independent in doing your developmental work, start to invest heavily in waqf, in the endowment, awqaf. Okay? Because awqaf revenue gives you independence. Awqaf revenue gives you independence because you have an income. Start to have a core group of corporate and donors that they believe in you. So they can give you the general fund, which allow you to respond either to emergency, which nobody is responding to it, or to development. Start to have a reserve. What do you mean by reserve? Why reserve? Such a reserve will be left for you to use as, what do you call it, a seed money for any developmental program. Because if you don't have a seed money for developmental program for 6 months to a year, nobody else will give you money. So you have the waqf, you have the core group of your donors who believe that they can give you a general fund, spend it anywhere, or you have a strategic fund which you can actually use it as a seed money to start a developmental program in certain country. Otherwise, you will be dictated by the regulation of the donor. And this is what has been happening to the case of Syria. I was mentioning it in my article this morning. In Syria, for 12 years now of a conflict, most of the fund received by them is for humanitarian response, has to be spent in 6 months to 9 months. And they do not want this money because they have to get out of the humanitarian response phase to rehabilitation and development program. But the donors' condition and the donor culture is forcing them to stay in the same space, which is easy. Whether they themselves would like you to become a developmental organization or just keep you and dumping you in this basket of humanitarian funding, which even one of our colleagues when we were in an international conference and call it the flush, not the flash,
The flash.
the flush appeal, not the flash appeal. You know flush when you go to toilet?
Yeah.
The flush appeal fund. And it was roasted by some of the organization. But anyway, this is actually independence mean that you have your own fund,
Yeah.
you have your own strategy,
Yeah.
you have your seed fund, you have to continuous independent fund which is general to start your program. Otherwise, development program is not easy. And you can start development program on a very, very lower scale, lower, not low, lower scale level. Like in a country like Pakistan, You have the microfinance
Yeah.
and the livelihood program. Let it grow like a snowball. Let it grow like a snowball. And this is one thing. You have also the open market. Let you build local community markets. Support it. Let us have a program to educate the women at home of how to market their products. Because they can produce the rugs, the clothes, the food, but they don't know how to market it. Let us help them in how to market it. All these kind of things will let you to focus on the livelihood program. Livelihood program is attractive to ordinary donor as well as to big donors. If we become a master of livelihood program, we'll make a change. Because it's based on the individual contribution to the family that they want to improve their life. And you can have all this in Pakistan, because Pakistan now 250 million or more.
More than 260 million.
Bismillah, mashallah. Well, 260 million. And they still have a lot of resources.
Our dream is to go with the 110 million actually.
What?
No, it's about the population.
Population. yeah.
Population. To go with the population. So also in Pakistan, as an office, why should you be relying on IRW? Why should you be relying on funding from partners?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, now it becomes a local organization.
Yeah, that's we are working on with different donors. We are meeting them, we are engaging them. NDRMF is a government funded project, and we did this in last year. We are now got funding from Norwegian Refugee Council from there. GIZ we got the funding. We are getting funding from UNDP. We registered ourselves.
No, I'm not interested in this. I'm interested in the public.
Yeah, public.
The Pakistani businessman in Lahore,
Karachi.
in Karachi, in Islamabad, even in Sindh,
Yeah,
KPK. A lot of people would love to give you money. I'll tell you something. Khidmat. How much there is?
a big.
Al Khidmat Foundation.
Yeah. $15 million last year. Multiplied by Pakistani currency, how many crore?
Yeah.
15 million.
Billions.
I tell you something, ED Foundation,
Yeah.
how much money they have been raising? Did ED, Sattar ED went outside Pakistan? No, it's all from Pakistan. From the 50s, 1951, 52, 53 when he started, up till he died 2 years ago.
Also the Indus Hospital, they are raising big. Shaukat Khanam is one of them.
Everything.
Yeah.
You have got amongst those 250, 260 million Pakistani living in Pakistan, maybe 1 or 2 million millionaires. 1 or 2 million. If you divided 250, 1 to 250, it's less than 4%, or less than 4% millionaire.
Yeah.
1 in 250. 1 in 1,000, sorry. Not 1 in 100. 1 million out of 250 million. So we talk about 1 in 1,000. Can you get 10,000 of this 1 million to give you the 15 or 20 or 30 million dollars every year? You can.
Yes, you can.
That's why always, brothers, look after your feet. I remember a story when I was in the secondary school. It was in a French book because we're learning French. This is a story, a father was talking to his son before he died. And the father had a farm. And they told his son, I have a treasure inside the farm. Keep digging every inch of the farm. Plow it. Keep plowing it every year. You'll to find the treasure. The son did not understand the message. He was trying to tell him, keep planting the land. when he plowed the land, dig the land, he was planting something. So by the end of a year or two, nothing came out. He said, look at the trees, look at the plants. This is your treasure underneath your feet. So I think a lot of wealth is inside poor countries. What people stop making their country developed is the corruption. But actually, when you look at a country like Pakistan, it's very resourceful. And this 1 in 1,000 can make Islamic relief locally to raise at least 10 million, 15 million, 20 million from the individuals, not from the government, not from the institution, the Western institution. So this could be multiplied or trebled if the government gives the money or if the international institution give you the money.
So there was some we faced problem in registration. I think you know. So we got the local registration now. It's clear now that Islamic Relief is registered as a local organization. So we are working actually with the brother Adnan visited many times for the hybridization, and we are going to
Which Adnan? Adnan Hafiz?
Adnan Hafiz. So we are looking at the local donations from the people of Pakistan actually.
Yeah.
So we started working, but it's gradually we are starting this. Yeah, because last year we get this opportunity to for this local registration. Although it was along that we are registered with the SECP in as a SSCP, but there was a problem from MOI Ministry of Interior.
Yeah.
So we got this clear now.
Yeah.
So we started working on this as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
This to answer your question about the development program.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
You have any question? I just want to listen you about.
But you have to.
I actually.
I'm not a singer.
I actually want to take few words from you actually, because usually I told people that Brother Ani, who made this organization, is our leader and our mentor. We every speech you did in Pakistan we listened, and every time I think we went.
Those words encourage us to keep doing what we are doing.
Okay.
So whenever we get any chance to listen to you, it just refreshes us, and it makes us more energetic actually. By the words, by the struggle you made to make this organization at this level, it's a great encouragement for everybody who is working in this organization.
So to be very honest, it's not about one man show. You have to realize that actually all of us did the contribution. All of us contributed to that. From especially in Pakistan, from 1997 up till now and later on. We went from the quick emergency response to build this big network inside Pakistan. See how many people went through the journey of Islamic relief processing growth, or growing process. How many people, of young people? Remember the names. I was talking to some of my colleagues about writing the history of Islamic relief. The history of Islamic relief Pakistan has to be written by you, not by myself. We can, as a group, put the parameters and the criteria of how to collect the data. But you have to identify the people who started from 1997 up till now, and each one of them has to put his own or her own view. This is history. Otherwise, history will be written by one man. Good, but not good enough. Because if it's written by somebody like myself, it means that I have my fingerprint on it. But this is one-sided. So when you look at this, look at the journey of Islamic Relief Pakistan, Islamic Relief Yemen, Islamic Relief Mali, Islamic Relief Bosnia, Islamic Relief USA, Islamic Life Canada. The journey has many names. We shouldn't only remember the name of the founder. A lot of very important people from the community. I was very happy to meet the community in Sindh. What's the name of the cities that I visited? Do you remember?
Yes, Larkana.
Larkana.
Yes.
Incredible women and men came with open heart. But we should not let them to feel that Islamic Life is one man show. We should always, when we go there, meet with them, talk to them, listen to them, because they are the source of knowledge. They are the source of motivation. They are the source of wealth, because their idea could be the greatest idea for us to make the right program. And those local community, if we don't respect them, nobody will respect us. Nobody. The respect, if we respect them, Allah will let other people to respect us in this relationship, and at the middle of it is Allah. You know, when I was talking about the ayah at the very beginning and explaining the emergency response, you have to be very proud of your deen. You have to be very proud of your religion. You have to be very proud of your culture, of your language, of your values, of your history, of your role models. Because you are a different entity. You're not like anybody else. Everybody is proud of what they have, of religion, of faith, of culture, of history. So why don't I become proud of myself? Here is what we need to tell the community. Be always proud. Don't ever let everybody that you are having the lower hand. You have the upper hand. You know why? Because the relationship between, let me write this one on the table. The relationship between the local community organization and INGO, this is INGO, and this is the local. This one here will bring the fat. All right? This one here will bring or make the kiss. Tell me what is the fat and what is the kiss. Fat is fun. A, advocacy. T is training. So those international organizations, when they come to the country, tell them, you give me the fat, the fun, the advocate for me, and train me. I will give you the kiss. So what is the kiss? K is knowledge-based. I is innovative. Innovation is always local. Innovation is always local. Pioneering is always local. So the K, knowledge-based. The I is innovative. The S is sustainable. The S is solution. I, as a local organization, give you the KISS, which is knowledge-based, innovative, sustainable solution. Okay? You know what? This one equal to this one. Don't ever let me feel down because you gave me the money and the training. Without the knowledge, without the innovative ideas, without my sustainable solution, you will never spend your money. You'll never be able to spend your money. So the fat is equal to the kiss. And even when you are, we have a proverb in Arabic that actually the master is always coming at home at the evening, telling his wife or his daughter, please do the cooking. I want tomorrow to have a lamb and chicken. And I said, okay, fine, give me the money. I do the cooking. So you are the
Money
one.
is the fat and cooking is the kiss.
Money is the fat and cooking is the kiss. So your wife will give you the kiss if you give her the money. This is what, and be proud of what you have of knowledge. Because no organization, like the good old days, all the INGO used to come with a parachute to bring solution from Europe, or from America, from the Middle East. All of them failed because they're not coming out from the roots. Because if you come, bring a tree to plant it in a different climate, it might grow or it might die. But if the tree is coming from the roots, from the soil of the community, it will never die. It will always grow. So the fat and the kiss. Yes.
So this is your own terminology?
Yes, yes, my own terminology. This is long time ago.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, make a photograph of it.
Yeah, I made a video actually. Yeah.
Any other question? Any more questions?
Yeah, no more question, but just.
Because we really, you see, at the end of the first 40 years, okay, you know, this is another thing which I want you to realize.
Meine marker.
Yeah, what is the
Duster.
what do you call this one? At the end of the first 40 years, we have to look back at what we have been achieving to start our next 40 years. Okay? Islamic Relief has ended the first 40 years in 17 January 2024. So 2024. Okay? This is the first 40. You have to pause. You have to pause and look at what you have been doing. Have you achieved in this span of life? Was less technological advancement? Was less resources? Was limited vision? What have you achieved in the first 40 years? You cannot just let go without reviewing it. Otherwise, Allah will penalize us. Will criminalize us. You know why? Because what you have done is owned by the community, not by the organization. Because Islamic Relief and other organizations are employees for the poor. The poor are the employers of Islamic Relief staff. The poor are the employers of Islamic Relief and other organization staff. Not the CEO, not the board of trustees, not the board of management. Even the president of the country, the prime minister, are employed by the public. The public are the employer,
Yeah.
not them.
Yes.
So they are the servant.
Yeah.
So you and me and you and him and her are the servants of the public, who are paying our salaries,
Yeah.
who are paying our livelihood. You make a livelihood program for the poor people,
Yes.
the poor people really make a livelihood program for yourself.
Yeah.
And this is what you need to tell volunteers, tell local community, and tell government as well. So here in the first 40 years, you must sit down and have a meeting to see what have we been doing and chronologically to pinpoint it. Otherwise, the future generation will curse us because we have not written what we have achieved
In the first 40.
and what we have failed. You have to tell me the truth that we failed in something and we achieved in something else.
As a
Or not-
lesson learned for them.
A lesson learned, and we are not angels. Or not angels. Then you have to plan for the second 40 years. This is not this one. This is around
F.A.T
40 years. For every 40 years, Islamic life has to have a fingerprint and impact. In the first 40 years, you know what was happening before the 1984? Let me explain. What time is it now?
It's around 12.
It's
Huh?
noon. It's noon. 12.
12 o'clock. You know what happened? Before 1984, since the medieval time, 13th, 14th century, the church, especially the Catholic Church, were very interested in humanitarian work, particularly education. So when they sent the missionary group, they were actually concerned about education, then started to do the social and humanitarian work. As creating a space for them inside the community through building this kind of projects. This goes back 6 or 7 centuries ago.
And even today, sir.
Everywhere. This actually is how it started. But it was creating a small space owned by the church. It's good. It's not haram. And they use these services to increase-, to convert people sometime here and there. So they may change the space into a field. But controlled by the same philosophy of thinking. Then after that, it make it like a climate.
Everything inside.
International. Owned also by the same philosophy, because one philosophy of thinking. By 1863, in Switzerland, they created the International Committee of Red Cross to change this climate to make it international climate. This humanitarian climate, actually, which is created by the church for the activities, into international humanitarian climate. Started,
As a very little space.
yeah, it started from the space, the field, the climate, to this international. But this climate and this climate were controlled or monopolized by one school of thought, not by multiple. Here, you might say that many European, many Eastern international organizations, but they're still having the same school of thought, which was not bad, was good, because this is actually the way they wanted actually us, as they wanted themselves, to understand the international. International cannot be international unless it become multi-diverse, what they call it, multi-dimensional. Okay? International cannot become international unless it becomes multi-dimensional. What do I mean by multi-dimensional? Multi-dimensional in culture, faith,
Faith,
history, it ethnicity, philosophy, values. I'm not attacking the churches or attacking the ICRC. I'm saying they have done their best to make it international, but it was through one culture, one history, and others. When Islamic Relief registered itself in 1993 in the kitchen of the global humanitarian work in UN, before that, it became a player. 89, Khartoum, flood. 90, Iran, earthquake. 91, Bangladesh cyclone. 92, Bosnia and Pakistan. Okay. 95 or 94, Chechnya. December 94 was the first Chechnya war. So when you look at here, all these were actually initiatives. But here is the kitchen. When we went inside the kitchen, in the ECOSAC, we were representing different culture, different value, different religion, different faith, different ethnicity, different language. And we started to rally and attract and bring others. Tell them, come to the kitchen. Come to the kitchen. So now, what Islamic Relief did from 1993 to 2023, 24, is what I call it converting the humanitarian space, field, climate into more conducive space, field, and the climate, and it becomes international. So it brought them from the space, the S, the F, the C, into the international. Because international means you have to have this multiplicity, not the monopoly. In the good old days was monopoly, because there was nobody else, same culture, same values, and. So this was happened actually by your people from 1984, especially after 1993. So 1993 should be a turning point in the history of humanity. Because you enter the kitchen, so you become a cook. To produce plow, prata, katlemma, samosa, bakura, chutney, biryani, and kebab.
Every new thing.
And not only that, koshari, kitchery. Kitchery, yes, of course. all couscous, all these kind of things. In the kitchen, which was only using meat and potato and some vegetable. Because the climate here only was producing meat and potato.
So
But in your climate, you have different things.
you brought variety.
Huh?
You brought variety into the kitchen.
Yeah, we became new cook from North Africa, from West Africa, from South Africa, from Central Asian republics, from everywhere, from Pakistan, from India, from Bangladesh, all this. So what you have done from 1993 to 2024 is bringing or making the international real international. But only that, and the Islamic Relief, especially over the last World Humanitarian Summit, is it
2017?
Global Humanitarian Summit, what do you call it? 2016.
Yes.
It invited tens of organizations to the summit. From where? From the south and the east. Now Islamic Relief is changing the philosophy, the culture, and the ethnicity of the humanitarian, bringing it with a new invention or changing it from the word humanitarian into the word CREATURE-TERIAN. I will write it to you. Okay. We used to up till now we are using humanitarian, that's right?
Yeah.
Who is the leader of humanitarian? Human. That's right?
Yes.
So human people, like myself and yourself, are the legislator, the jury, the judge, the lawyer, the attorney, the criminal. That's right? But in our new ideology, we call it creature Tarian. What does it mean? I was talking to one of your trustees yesterday, and she is a professor somewhere in the university. Said, I never heard of it. Said, don't worry, we've invented it 2006. 2000. CREATURE-TERIAN. Creature is related to creator. Here is the creator. Here is the human. So in CREATURE-TERIAN world, you are related to the creator because you are a creature. And you look at the CREATURE-TERIAN world through it by referring back all the time to the creator, not to the human being. So he is the legislator, not you and me. That's why in his legislation, you don't only look at the world, but you look at
the
universe. You got it? This is what you need to do over the coming 40 years. To have not only humanitarian universe, but CREATURE-TERIAN universe. Can you say it?
Creature-tarian.
CREATURE-TERIAN.
Creature-tarian.
Raise your voice.
Creature-tarian.
CREATURE-TERIAN universe.
Creature-tarian. Tricky word actually.
CREATURE-TERIAN universe.
Creature-tarian.
Well, you look at the galaxies, the planets, the moons, the skies, the stars, all those that Allah has created them for you. When you understand that there are at least 2 trillion galaxies, the traveling distance inside the diameter of each one of them varies from 30,000 light year speed to 300,000. This is one galaxy of the 2 trillion that belongs to you. Because Allah, when He created the universe, created it for you to be the custodian.
Yeah.
And I conclude my my reminder today by a statement mentioned by Pierre Curie. Pierre Curie is one of the people who won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1903 with his wife, Marie Curie. You might know her name because she's very famous. And in physics. We know what he said? We got from Andalusia only 30 books of knowledge, which allowed us to divide the atom. Could we have inherited all the books in Andalusia, who could have been working nowadays. You are here in Mars, I am here in Jupiter, and you call me, say, honey, I said, what? I come and have a cup of tea with you tonight. I said, okay, fine. This is what he said in 1903. We could have been walking between galaxies and visiting ourselves. But Isabella, the queen, and Ferdinando, the king, destroyed all the books
All
in
the
Andalusia.
books. Yeah, Andalusia.
Okay. And this is where you, nowadays, your generation, have to change the humanitarian world into humanitarian universe, and from humanitarian universe into creature-terian universe.
Sure.
Okay? Any other more questions, brothers? And so now you know creature-terian, huh?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So, thank you, and all the best for all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you, Islamic Relief Pakistan. What's your name?
Majid.
Majid?
Yes.
Farad.
Farad.
Yeah. Farad.
Farhad. And the brother who left?
Kareem.
Kareem.
Kareem. Mashallah. All the best, inshallah.
Yeah.
See you in Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, inshallah.